I'm 78 years old, and I keep thinking about how often I said the word later. Not angrily, not carelessly, just quietly, casually, like it would always be there waiting for me. I'm not telling this because I want forgiveness. I'm telling it because there isn't much time left, and the truth feels heavier when it stays inside. These days are slow. My mornings begin before the sun, mostly because my body doesn't let me sleep the way it used to. I sit at the kitchen table with a cup of tea I sometimes forget to drink. I look out the window. Same street. Fewer familiar faces. There's a silence now that didn't used to be here. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that asks questions. I don't have grand regrets. I didn't ruin my life in one dramatic way. I didn't lose everything in a single mistake. That's part of what makes this harder to explain. What I did was postpone my life in small pieces, over and over again. When I was younger, I thought postponing was the responsible thing to do. I grew up believing that important things could wait, but duties could not. You show up for work, you pay your bills, you keep things running. The rest fits in later. That's what adults do, I thought. In my 20s, I was busy building something, a career, a reputation, a sense that I mattered. I wasn't chasing wealth exactly, but I was chasing stability. I told myself that once things were steady, I'd slow down. Later. I worked long hours, not because anyone forced me to, but because it felt necessary. I said no to dinners because I was tired. I missed birthdays because deadlines felt heavier than candles and cake. I told myself I'd make it up later. I was married by then. We were good together, at least on paper. We shared responsibilities well. We talked about practical things, groceries, repairs, plans for the future. But the quiet conversations, those got postponed. We'd say, let's talk about it later, when something felt uncomfortable or too emotional. And later always seemed like the mature choice. I didn't realize we were training ourselves not to talk at all. In my 30s, life felt full, but crowded. Children came, bills grew, time shrank. I loved my kids. I truly did. But love doesn't automatically mean presence. I was there, but distracted. I listened with half an ear. I answered questions while thinking about tomorrow. When they wanted to show me something, I'd say, in a minute. That minute stretched into years. I believed I was doing the right thing. Providing, planning, preparing for a future where I'd finally be available. Later, I didn't see that childhood doesn't wait for your calendar to clear. The strange thing is, nothing ever felt urgent enough to stop me. No alarms, no warnings, just a series of reasonable decisions. I'd skip a school event because there would be another one. I'd put off a trip because money could be used better later. I'd delay hard conversations because peace felt more important in the moment. Each choice was small, almost invisible. But they stacked. By the time I was in my 40s, something had shifted. Not dramatically, just subtly. The house felt quieter even when it was full. Conversations became shorter, more functional. I noticed my partner sighing more. I noticed my children sharing less. I noticed, but I didn't stop. I told myself it was a phase. I told myself things would improve later. Work became my excuse and my hiding place. It was easier to feel useful there. easier to measure success, easier to avoid the feeling that something personal was slipping through my fingers. I wasn't unhappy exactly. I was just absent from my own life. In my 50s, the word later started to sound different. Not hopeful anymore, just familiar. My kids were grown. They had their own lives, their own urgency. They didn't wait around for me to be ready. My marriage felt thin, not broken, just worn. We'd grown careful with each other, polite, like roommates who didn't want to cause trouble. I thought maybe this was normal. Maybe this is what long lives together look like. I still believed I had time. Then came the illness. Not mine at first. My partner's. It wasn't sudden. It crept in. Appointments, tests, long pauses after phone calls. That's when I started saying later less. But by then the word had already done its damage. We talked more but carefully, as if we were walking around old cracks in the floor. We remembered things, but we didn't always feel them. I realized slowly that intimacy doesn't return on command. When my partner died, it wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. A hospital room, a machine humming, a hand growing colder in mine. I remember thinking I should say something meaningful, something that would tie everything together. But all I could think was how many conversations we'd saved for later. After that, time changed shape. Days got longer. Years felt shorter. I retired finally. The thing I'd been waiting for. The open space I'd promised myself for decades. And there it was. Empty. No schedule. No urgency. No one waiting for me to show up differently. The things I'd postponed didn't rush back to meet me. They were gone. My children called, but less often. They had their lives, as they should. I didn't blame them, but I felt the distance. Friends had thinned out over the years. Some moved away. Some passed on. Some relationships had quietly expired without either of us noticing. I was left with time and memories that didn't always comfort me. That's when the clarity arrived. Not like lightning, more like fog lifting. I saw my life not as a series of failures, but as a long habit of delay. I hadn't chosen the wrong things. I'd just chosen them at the expense of the present. I kept assuming there would be another chance to be more attentive, more open, more honest. I didn't understand that life doesn't punish you for waiting. It just moves on without you. There are things I cannot fix. I cannot go back and hear my children's stories the way they needed me to. I cannot sit across from my partner and ask the questions I avoided. I cannot reclaim the years I traded for the promise of someday. That's the part that hurts the most. Not guilt, not shame. Finality. People like to believe regret comes from big mistakes, but mine came from quiet ones, from dinners postponed, from hugs delayed, from words unsaid because they felt inconvenient. Now at 78, my world is smaller. I make peace with that. I still have moments of gratitude. I'm not bitter. I've lived a full life in many ways, but I carry a specific sorrow, the kind that comes from realizing you were always almost present. If you're listening to this, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't believe life works that way. I can only tell you what I misunderstood. I thought later was a place I would eventually arrive at. I didn't know it was a door that closes quietly behind you. I thought important things would wait until I was ready. They don't. Connection doesn't stay warm forever. People don't stay available indefinitely. And you don't get a warning when your last chance passes. It just feels like an ordinary day. If this meant something to you, sit with it for a moment. Not to change your life, just to notice it. I'm not afraid of dying anymore. I'm afraid of how easily life can be missed while you're busy preparing for it. I don't have much time left. I know that. But I have this moment. And I wanted to spend it telling the truth. That's all.